It's been said that Father Time is undefeated, and nowhere is that more true than in sport. Once a footballer turns 30, every sprint can seem slower, every stretch more difficult, and every strike less fierce as they seem to inch closer to retirement. But age hasn't stopped the world's oldest top-level player, Yokohama FC's Kazuyoshi Miura, the man known as King Kazu. Miura was born in 1967, at a time when Japanese football was not as it is today. Mostly a game for amateurs, it was played in front of few fans with limited pathways available to domestic players. For Kazu and his generation, though, this all seemed to change in 1977 with one man, Yasuhiko Okudera, who went to Germany to play professionally against the best of Europe. So, 5 years later, when a 15-year-old Kazuyoshi Miura also sought to play professionally, he took inspiration from Okudera and looked abroad. But instead of Germany, the teenage Kazu went to Brazil. After spending his teenage years in São Paulo at the Academy of Juventus, Kazu signed professionally with Santos. He went on to play 5 years in Brazil, winning a pair of state championships, and also suiting up for powerhouse Palmeiras along the way. By the time King Kazu returned to Japan in 1990, he was ready for his domestic breakout. He had learned his craft abroad, had Brazilian trophies to his name, was set for his national team debut, and unsurprisingly, reached near immediate pop star status. Upon landing back in Japan, Miura signed with Verdy Kawasaki, the club now known as Tokyo Verdy, and by 1993 was the centerpiece of the very first J.League match. Kazu put on an absolute show in front of 59,000 fans at the Japan National Stadium, getting the league off to a flying start. He would go on to dominate the inaugural campaign, scoring 20 goals to capture the first ever J.League MVP, while leading his club to the first ever J.League title. Miura's return to Japan undeniably helped elevate the sport in his home country. In King Kazu, football and the J.League had a star, and the sport grew alongside his celebrity status. But Kazu's impact was felt on the pitch too. By the end of his 5th year back in Japan, he had captured 11 trophies for his club. With all that silverware and his undisputed status as the star of Japanese football, Kazu earned the nickname King, and King Kazu became known both at home and far beyond Japan. The global nature of King Kazu has always been a part of his myth. In addition to his time in Brazil early on, Miura also went to play in Italy, in Croatia, in Australia, writing himself into the fabric of clubs all over the globe. When King Kazu signed for Yokohama FC in 2005, he was 38 years old. For anyone else, it would seem like the twilight of their career, and a dip into J2 to close the book on a brilliant legend. But Kazu is no ordinary player, and by year 2, he had helped get Yokohama FC promoted to the J1 League. Now, 16 years later, King Kazu is still pulling on the baby blue kit of Yokohama FC. His career has not been without critics though, but for them, Kazu has always had an answer. When it was said that Miura was a mere panda in a zoo, playing on at his age as a side attraction, Kazu said, "I'm proud to play that role. It's okay if I'm just a panda to draw crowds. Fans won't come for a regular bear, they're coming for a panda." In that panda, he has 15 trophies to his name. He's won an Asian Cup for his country. He has the second most goals in the history of the national team, and at 53 years old, he set a record as the oldest professional footballer ever last year. But he's not done. He'll be playing again in 2021 at 54 years old, because he's a king. King Kazu.